All right, welcome back. We are going to, I don't know, try to get all the news for the week in one quick video. Very interesting. Crypto dollars, stablecoin. Card firm raises 58 million for global expansion. Rain, a fintech company issuing stablecoin-backed cards, recently raised 58 million to expand its payments infrastructure across more than 150 countries. Earlier this year, Rain partnered with Visa to enable USDC stablecoin settlement while aiming to make stablecoins instantly usable anywhere. This news. So we'll look Rain up at another time. Um, Raising the money, they already have a payment infrastructure. It already spans 150 countries. Partnering now with Visa to use the USDC stablecoin. We're all familiar with Coinbase and we're all familiar with USDC. We know that it is major in the United States, and I'm sure other countries are using it as well. Um, so with Visa, we know Visa's been in this space 4 years. What they would do is convert your money over and then, or pretty much take your money or convert it. So it's not new to be using your Visa card to make purchases like nothing's different when you go into a store. Now it's just become a little more common. These stable coins, they hold their value around $1. So nobody's worried about that. Everybody's, you know, best way to transact money is through a stable coin because it does not fluctuate in value. So this is more confirmation that businesses and banks, right, they have full access and are able to use it, especially when we talk about major companies such as Visa connecting to these fintech companies. MetaPlanet buys 1,009 Bitcoin for 112 million. So it says MetaPlanet Incorporated acquired 1,009 Bitcoin for approximately 112 million. Now they're up to 20,000 Bitcoin. This purchase elevates MetaPlanet to the sixth largest corporate Bitcoin holder, surpassing Riot Platforms and Bitcoin treasury size. All right, so the main thing here is Bitcoin is store of value. If you're in the space, you should know that. Bitcoin, if you want to have your money in savings, you would have it in Bitcoin. So even if you're not an investor and you don't even understand, you leave your money commonly in your bank in a savings account. You come off better just holding Bitcoin. And just look at this, you know, corporate Bitcoin holder. Okay, we're talking corporations holding Bitcoin. Now, if you don't get it as a person, if you look at corporations, they're holding Bitcoin because it generates income, right? They know it's a store of value and they also know they grow money there. So you as a common person should look at this news and say, well, let me put my savings into Bitcoin. At least there I know I'm growing some form of money. And of course, Bitcoin up, down. But that's neither here, neither there. If you're just now in the space, you're like, oh, 110,000. Go back in time, you're like, oh, 15,000, and it's like, who wants to buy Bitcoin at 15,000? Who wants to buy it at $6,000? Well, everybody now is looking at, I got to pay 108,000 for one Bitcoin. I would love to have been accessible at $6,000. So, and also, so you understand, nobody knew way back. I got into space in 2018. You couldn't have told me that Bitcoin was going to $100,000. Even when it got to 60, I figured, yeah, it'll get to 100,000. I didn't know how fast it would get there, but yeah, it'll get there. But nobody knew that that's where it was going. So if Bitcoin goes to $500,000, who knows that it's going there? It's the same thing with most cryptocurrencies. So to see Metaplanet um, holding Bitcoin just like many other corporations, you should take that and apply it in your life and say, even if I have money in my savings account, I would do better turning it into Bitcoin. Not an investor, I would even do better there. All right. Publicly traded company adds 77 million to its Solana stack. Hey man, it's not rocket science. DeFi Development Corp, another corporation, a public company focused on staking and staking and stacking. Oh my God, stacking and staking Solana. Recently added 77 million to bring its crypto treasury above 200 million. The newly acquired Solana will be held long term and staked to a variety of validators, reports the firm. DeFi Development recently announced it makes nearly 63,000 per day in Solana's denominated revenue and validator rewards. So again, hey, it's around $200 at Solana. So if you have a savings account, and oh my God, Solana has come a long way. Oh my God, a long way. I don't even want to talk about the numbers that I saw that. This is stupid. I'm $14. Now, what do you think about this? At $14, would you have thought Solana was going to 200? Well, I thought at least 100. But would you have thought at 14 it was going to $200 per asset, per coin? Most of you wouldn't have thought that. But to see that it's over $200, you should be saying, like, oh my, right? Like, man, it's the potential. So for people that don't understand the crypto space, it took years. Well, I don't even think it took years from that. That's maybe a year, and it was up to like 70, 80, another year, $100, and growing. But if you are standing on the outside and you're looking in, saying, "Oh, that stuff's a scam. It's bogus," you're crazy. Ain't no scam about $14 becoming 200. I just want you to think about that. If you had 10 at $14, you were at $140 investment. Now, you take that 10 times 200, when you roll the 10, that's 2,000. The zero, excuse me, it's 2,000, right? Because, what did I say? Go back. $14, right? But then it becomes $200 and you have 10. Yeah, $2,000. So you're looking at $2,000 from $140. And it took some time if that's all you had. But let's just say, for instance, you were like, nah, I want 100 of them. That's $20,000, right? So you say in a year, 2 years time, 2 years time, my whatever the investment would have been, 14 times what was I say, 100? That'd have been 1,400, right? Come on. That would have jumped you up to $20,000. So you say to yourself, when you look at this space, what secrets? Here come some secrets. When you get into this space, you want to be looking at a use case. What is the use? Who is using this? What is it going to be doing? Does the market need this? Does banks need this? Who needs this? Because whoever needs this is going to pay to get access to it. There's the secret. If you want to get into the crypto space, there it is right there. You can stop the video at this point and say, I'm done. I now know the secret. Now I know what to do. All right. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, those articles. But we're not going to stop there. You've got probably another 10 more minutes of this video. Let's try to make this quick. Let's go to World Liberty Financial burns 47 million. World Financial tokens amid price decline. All right, so what happened? World Liberty Financial has executed a burn of 47 million tokens through a multi-signature agreement as price pressures continue. The Trump Family Crypto Project launched public trading on Monday with subsequent downward momentum. Sell-off. On-chain data confirmed the token burn permanently removed 0.19% of the circulating supply. This token briefly reached 33 cents at launch, but declined 3.8% daily to current levels of approximately 23 cents. The burn mechanism aims to tighten token supply with the intention of theoretically boosting the remaining token values. CoinMarketCap shows 24.66 billion tokens unlocked from the original 100 billion total supply. Oh my God, 100 billion. That's a lot, right? So you're like, oh, it's a lot of tokens. So they're burning them off. Well, we don't even know the use case, right? You just get in this article and like, well, what is the use case anyway? We'll talk about that. World Liberty, Financial dropped over 31% from opening highs as short sellers, meaning that they sold to quickly gain profit, pressured the newly launched asset, right? I believe it was 0.015. So when it hit the market, jumping up to 33 cents, if you were holding millions of those, you profited big. So the sell-off would have been the short. The project proposed implementing systematic buyback and burn programs using protocol-generated fees. This is what they were trying to figure out how to do because they didn't want people saying, "Oh, it's related to the Trump family, so we're going to make big money," right? But there's a use case. I just told you the secret just a second ago. So the token burns represent supply reduction strategies commonly employed during volatile market conditions. Academic research suggests burns exceeding 5% annually can increase token prices, right? World Liberty Financial Governance proposal received majority approval from 133 respondents supporting the token burn initiative. Voting procedures remain pending, right? The project's multi-signature burn agreement required 2/3 of the signature of people holding for the 47 million token elimination. Now remember, there's 100 billion. The transaction records show tokens transferred to burn wallet addresses on September 6th, 2nd. So anyways, these are dead addresses that nobody uses, and they just send them off, no more to be found. They're no longer in the system. They're dead. And that's a whole story of its own. Current circulating supply projects approximately 700 million tokens. Clearly, we're not at 100 billion. All right, circulating right now is 700 million. But you got to remember that's based on the fact that 24.66 billion of the 100 billion were released. So that left 700 million. So those are going to fluctuate in value until more is needed or they burn off more. So the trading activity remains essential for generating fees, supporting ongoing burn programs. Let's see, but you really want to know how this exists. So let's keep moving. All right. Man, all this stuff. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. World5 blocks hacking attempts with on-chain blacklisting. Now there's a few things. So this scares a lot of people off, but banks are going to need this. Businesses, corporations, institutions, they're going to need this technology. So whether we personally like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's business. All right. Trump-linked decentralized finance project World Liberty Financial said it blocked hacking attempts targeting its token launched by blacklisting compromised wallets on chain. On Wednesday, World5 said that a designated wallet executed mass blacklisting transactions to disable accounts identified as compromised before it launched. The team said the hacking attempts stemmed from end user companies like Private Key losses and stressed that the incidents were not an exploit of the World5 project itself. So the World Liberty, I keep saying World5, World Liberty said the project's backlisting efforts prevented attempts to hack its lockbox, a vesting mechanism that uh, safeguards lock token allocations for its users. This allowed us to block these theft attempts from the lockbox. World Liberty Financial wrote, linking to Etherscan transactions showing the blacklist in action. All right, we block hacker attempts stemming from end user compromises, not an exploit of World Liberty Finance. The following transactions show a World Liberty designated wallet executing mass blacklisting of wallets identified as compromised, private, key lost prior to launch. Da, 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 da. All right, so it goes on to say the bad actors continue to target the users. On Monday, World Liberty Financial unlocked 24/6. Yep, as it opened trading for the first time. Since then, hackers and scammers have attempted to profit from the event, targeting users and the project because everybody wants to cash out. Analytics firm Bubble Maps identified bundled clones, which are look-alike smart contracts. Tons of these things exist, okay, for your information. When you get into wallets and you go into swaps, you will see, for instance, a Solana asset. You'll see 30, 40 different look-alike clones in there in that wallet. And you might be trying to bring something in from a market and put it into to your wallet. And you might think, oh, this wallet address is it. And then you try and then boom. Nope, it's a clone, right? Like somebody's trying to really set you up. This stuff happens all the time. It's just a scam, right? So it's real. When you get into this space, you got to be very particular about what you do and don't rush and do anything. You check 2, 3, 4, 5 times. All right. All right. So it says this aims to trick unsuspecting users. It does into engaging with fake contracts instead of legitimate ones to steal their crypto. Swap here, I got you covered. Yuxian, oh, I don't know how that's pronounced. Qian, Yuxian, I don't know. The founder of security company SlowMist reported that some World Liberty Financial holders were being drained of their tokens through a known exploit using the Ethereum Improvement Proposal EIP 7702 upgrade. Qian said World Liberty holders are being drained using a classic EIP 7702 phishing exploit. He explained the bad actors plant hacker controlled addresses and victim wallets. There it is, right, in the victim's wallet, allowing them to snatch the tokens when a deposit is made. That happens. In May, Ethereum's Spectra upgrade introduced EIP 7702, which allowed externally owned accounts to temporarily act like smart contract wallets. This enabled the delegation of execution rights and allowed batch transactions with the goal of streamlining user experience. While the upgrade's goal was to enhance user experience, security experts identified a new attack vector that could allow hackers to drain funds. So the more and more you try to make things easier, the more and more bad actors find a way to steal. All right, so we're not go any further into that. So major thing. So World Liberty came out. It pretty much is a token that sets up for $1. That's all it is. It's a stable coin. So it runs on Ethereum, Binance, and Solana. Now, with Ethereum, we know Ethereum has multiple layers, right? We have the base layer, the Arbitrum layer. Oh my God, what's the other ones called? It's a bunch of them. You have a bunch of layers of Ethereum. So I'm not sure right now. I personally like the base layer, and I haven't used the Arbitrum layer, but I've used the base layer, and it's another layer I've used. But anyways, they make the transactions super fast. Ethereum is still costly if you just use the main layer or the base layer, and it can cost and take time to do the transaction. So that's why they have these other layers, layer 2 protocols, so on and so forth, that get in front of that, and then their transactions, whatever happened at a later time. So whatever. The stable coin is the whole point. So for world liberty to come into existence, obviously, Trump family being involved, obviously, it still produces stable coin. You say, well, what is that stable coin backed by? Well, it's backed by U.S. securities and one-to-one dollar. So what are you saying? What I'm saying is the United States is low key coming up out of physical dollars. So just like when they were coming out of checks, even though checks still exist, we moved into debit cards and then credit cards, and then we moved into digital transactions on your phone. Now our digital transactions are becoming even more simplified, faster, and easier. So this is your sign that the crypto space is about to take over and become your new systems of operation. So, what does that mean to you? That means that wherever there is a asset that produces stable coins, you want to be in there because transactions will be on stable coins and preferably stable coins backed by real world assets. Now, we used to have, I think some still exist, stable coins that were backed by a basket of cryptocurrencies. Well, that's dumb. And it failed. And it failed because you can't take cryptocurrencies that fluctuate up and down in value to create a stable coin that won't fluctuate. Because if a coin that's in that basket utterly goes to poo, then no value. Well, you've just messed up the value of that stable coin. But now we have RWAs, which we know as real world assets, which are now on chain. So we have what? Securities. Stocks are coming soon. Some stocks are already on chain via what is this? I forget. White Rock. And Ondo. Not is Ondo? I'm not sure. So we do have stocks already on market, but securities, right? So if you want to have a stable coin backed by a real world asset, you want one to one, so you can put dollars there to back that, but also securities, the bonds. So now that you have those bonds, right, then now you have something that solidly gives you a value that doesn't fluctuate, which allows you to have a stable coin that every business can transact in. So what does that mean? That means you'll go into your Walmart and you'll scan the QR code and you'll pay in something like USDC if you're doing that action yourself. Your banks might do it behind the scenes through your account and you'll still use a quote unquote credit slash debit card. So you'll go in and you'll tap your card or slide your card, and your money behind the scenes in your account has already been swapped into a stable coin. And they could have a basket of stable coins because that's the whole purpose of stable coins. As long as it has a true asset backing it, it's going to hold its value. Now, how many stable coins can cover the needs of the whole world? Right. So now you have to have multiple stable coins coming to existence, feeding the stable coin market. So when I hear World Liberty Financial, it's no different. It's actually no different. We've got their World One coin, I believe, World One, World Liberty One, or I forget what it's called. And so that is a stable coin backed by one-to-one dollar and secured bonds. So that's important, and that's why I thought it was relevant to share that with you because me personally, I mean, I see the value in it. That's all I got to say about that. Now we're gonna get two videos. So insurance giants secretly building on the blockchain right now. Insurance giants. Your insurance experience is about to change. Used to file a claim after a fender bender. Yeah, most of us still do that. We file a claim after we get in a car accident. There are endless forms, phone calls, and weeks of waiting, right? Yeah, that's still true. All right, so the blockchain will automate this entire process. So that's the whole point of this. This is SHX, aka Stronghold, right? You can see up there at the top. All right, so your accident will trigger an immediate claim. So now we're talking about AI agents, right? So oh my God, this is crazy. So I would even wonder, speculate, take a minute. I would even wonder once, so a lot of insurance companies now have, they'll use your phone and your phone will trigger. I don't know if you guys are familiar, ladies, gals, guys. So they have apps, and these apps will, operate off your phone, and they use the sensors and technology in your phone to determine a lot. Um, a lot of vehicles now, company vehicles, have these technologies in the vehicle, which triggers if you hit something too hard. They assume triggers accident, and then usually cameras come on. And again, it's for insurance purposes. Cameras come on, and then boom, 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 records everything. All right, so that would be amazing if they've now decided to take that same technology to get all the information they need at the point of an accident, and then start the AI agents into their work of validating what happened and doing the rest of the process instantaneously. All right, so it says there two vehicles hit. I'm guessing the blockchain here, which I would assume only is AI agents now doing their part, which is why smart contracts must exist, which is why Ethereum and Solana and Binance are major parts of the future with internet and blockchain. Claim submitted, you can see there. It says verified instantly by data from your car and traffic cameras. So your vehicle that has technology in it, and your phone, if your phone is tied to, I guess, their app, whoever app they're going to use, even though Stronghold is running stuff in the background, whatever app or company, your phone will probably be running it. And so it's going to be data shared from your car or your device, I would assume your phone. And then the traffic cameras, which is why you see all those CCTV cameras all around your cities and whatnot, will be spying and catch all this information. So, as they say, Orwellian. Well, look, here it is. So, oh, it looks so good, right? The payment hits your bank account in minutes, not months. Okay. So, hey, there was an accident. Oh, we got all the information we needed from your phone, the vehicle, and the cameras. We already know what happened. Not a big deal. The other person's been paying insurance through the insurance company. Boom, done, over with. Nothing to argue about. So the vehicle here, its information, whether it's in the information or that phone in his hand, again, the applications will do this based on your phone's technology. If you were in an accident and your phone was jolted or thrown, it's going to show accident through your device, and it'll alert and ping. And a lot of new vehicles have the sensors in the front, and those sensors will alert and ping. And then a lot of newer vehicles now are coming with cameras, so hey, it'll record, but not all. But for the most, the sensors built into your vehicle are going to record information. And then, I mean, I don't know if there's cameras out here. This looks like a little small road, not anything in the city. Um, but if there were cameras, they were recorded too. So the cameras, CCTV cameras, and the sensors in the vehicles that are now being applied, and the device in the man's hand and the woman's hand will alert to an accident. So there's nothing to argue about. No claim adjusters questioning every detail. So currently a claim adjuster has to come check the vehicle. Usually they'll go to where the vehicle got towed to a few days after the accident to go check everything out, give you an estimate, a quote there, based on the police report of the accident. That's how they know. And boom, 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 boom. It's a long process, and it can take a week or more. All right, so that gets rid of that. All right, this is a long video. I'm sorry. All right, so it says it drops dramatically because you're only paying for your actual driver behavior, not average risk pools. And those excluded conditions, prints the insurance companies use to deny claims. What does that say? Let's back up. And those excluded conditions in the fine. All right, so accident's your fault. Obviously, you get the police report and everything else shows that you're at fault, so it goes on your record. The insurance part is paid for, and now if your insurance premium goes up because you're negligent and cause an accident, that has nothing to do with them. All that information is recorded. They're just talking about the claims and payouts. All right. All right. Replaced by transparent smart contracts that execute exactly. Smart contracts. Again, Solana, Ethereum, Binance. And we're talking AI agents. You can see here, they're showing you stoplights and CCTV cameras. They're showing you money, and they're showing you sensors in the vehicle. So boom. Insurance fraud, people that cause accidents. People jump in front of a vehicle. So that's why more people put the cameras in their vehicles now because of the fraud. People jump in front of you to get hit. So it saves American families thousands in higher premiums every year from people basically scamming you on the road to get you to hit them. Got to record it. All right. Blockchain is tamper-proof. Systems could cut your insurance costs in half. And it's tamper-proof because once the AI agents are set to do a job, they just do their job. Bots, agents, call them what you want to call them. All right. Right? It's not science fiction. It's already happening behind the scenes. Look at that. It's already happening behind the scenes. And this goes back to what I said earlier about you going to the store to purchase, not knowing that you're using a stable coin or cryptocurrency because your banks have all this happening behind the scenes. You're not aware of it. You still think that when you got paid, your money went to your bank account. You don't even know that the bank swapped your money out into crypto, which then bought stable coins, whichever ones it was. So when you go to the store and you tap that card, the money is already deducted from their side in a stable coin to pay directly to the other place where it was purchased. The next step would actually be you scanning a QR code yourself through your bank app. I don't know when that'll happen, but that will be the next step, which is you'll click QR. It'll show you a list of banks probably. You'll hit your bank and then it'll give a QR code. So your bank might use, I don't know, let's say World Liberty Financial or World $1, right? World One or something like that. So your bank might use World One. So once you hit your bank, it'll give you a QR code that they accept for that crypto, and you won't even know. You'll just know bank. Push the bank button. There's my bank, and it accepts. Scan the QR code. So you open up your bank. You'll scan the QR code. You'll push the button yes. It'll do the transaction, and it's over. And you won't even know that it was crypto operating behind the scenes. So here, the AI agents on the smart contracts, it's already happening behind the scenes. The insurance industry is being reinvented to work for you. And meanwhile, you have no idea. You don't even know this is happening. You don't even know. The future of insurance is digital, instant, and fair. All right. The question is, are you ready to leave the paperwork? So we're getting rid of paperwork altogether. You can call it Orwellian. You can call it what you want. But if you want fair, I mean, you're going to have to be good at what you do. But if you want fair, you're going to need the AI agents, the blockchain, the smart contracts, because they don't care about what you look like, how you talk, and how you sound. They work digitally. They don't need to know you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your history. I don't know if you all noticed this. This is going to be, man, I'm sorry, this video's long. So commonly, years ago, it was very difficult for colored people to gain access to credit and so on and so forth, right? Access to stock markets, like it was very hard and difficult. Now, here we are in 2025. It is so easy to gain access to credit. There are so many digital companies in the background. For instance, like Affirm. There's so many of them popping up left and right that you'll start opening an account with them You'll charge 20, 30, 40, $50, maybe $100, and you begin generating credit with them. You connect your bank to their account, and then they can automatically draft their payment, or you can pay right then and there and pay the bill off. So that is access to banking and loans that was so hard years ago. I know a lot of you are probably like, what are you talking about? Facts, facts. As a colored person, I'm telling you, facts. It was very hard to gain access to credit. Now it's not, right? So this is what artificial intelligence does. This is what an AI agent, a bot in the blockchain will do. It cuts the tape that stops one group of people. Technically, the word would be racism. It stops a group of people from having the power and ability to alter the life and decisions that another group of people can actually has. Right? That's racism. You controlling one group of people what they can and can't do. So this stops it, right? If you're looking for a loan because let's say, for instance, you need to get tires for a vehicle, go set up an Affirm account. Go find one of those companies that do that. All right. Attach your bank information, your job information. They're gonna ask you for all that. They're gonna KYC that ass and go through the whole process, and then purchase your tires. They're gonna say, okay, well, this $600-700 purchase is gonna cost you. Let's say you want to do it for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, whatever. Let's say you want to do it for 12 months. Well, for 12 months, we're going to charge you $35 a month, and it'll be automatically drafted out of your bank account on this day, and you can always pay earlier. It's $35. You don't have the $600-700 to pay for your tires then, but now you can get them, which then keeps you from getting in an accident later. Use the account. Okay, go pay $35 a month. Get some tires. All right, so that's how that breaks down. This is fair if I've ever seen it. All right. Claims rejected in the past. All right. So pause there. All right. This is the last video I'm going to show. We're going to shut it down. This was a long video, but this is a news recap for the whole week. So sit in, get your coffee, and go through it because this is the recap for the week. All the information I want to share. All right. Let's go to the beginning. All right. Ever notice how every banking app feels exactly the same? And everybody has their own bank app. You click on your app and it opens up, and that's how you conduct business, all right, on your device. Why aren't we seeing all sorts of new interfaces, right? So you go into there, unless you're in unless you have a wallet, right, or you're using a exchange, right? So for those in the crypto space, we already know what we're looking at, but you go into a bank app, it's generalized, one setup for all, right? She's going to break it down. You don't see anything new. And technology driven services from banks and credit unions. Now, I want you to notice all this is happening from your device, okay? These mini computers in your hand, this is where you do your banking, this is where your insurance information, all that stuff is going through here, right? So the technology is in these computers in your hand, right? But they haven't really changed. All right, so the person who we've been watching the whole time is Tammy, the CEO of Stronghold. Hey, Tammy. All right, so get used to seeing her face. SHX. There's your ticker if you didn't know. SHX. It's the CEO of Stronghold, and Stronghold has been in the space for a minute. They are built off of XLM, which we know is built off of a split from XRP. There was differences in the camp, so Ripple's XRP broke off and become Stellar Lumens XLM, and then from there you have a company Stronghold built off of XLM's system, and this is what they're doing. This is your weekly fintech update. We're going to look at 3 companies, all right, that control 80% of America's banking infrastructure. So this is what happens in the United States. Banks. And the reason why we're in the crypto space is because crypto space is changing banks. So what you used to do, whether you like it or not, is changing. So you can be early and profit by getting in this space, or you can stay out and miss it. Companies most people have never heard of. I've never heard of these companies. When it comes to banking options, we'd expect our local establishments to offer unique flavors and features. Each bank offers a card and what you can do through them. But instead of Rocky Road or pistachio ice cream, I guess, that sounds weird. We get just strawberry chocolate and vanilla. Yeah. What do you call that? What's that flavor called? Just I don't know. Whatever. All right, so global fintech investments, right? With billions invested in fintech over the past several years, and the endless talk about differentiation, how is there still so much sameness? Here's the technical reality. Behind the scenes, three major core banking processors handled the critical infrastructure. Fiserv, Jack Henry, and FIS, or FIS, the FIS. Those are the main companies. Giant banks like Chase, Bank of America, have the resources to build their own custom in-house core systems. You see there, your internet, your desktop version of running your bank account, your mobile way of running your bank account, and then the files being secured. I assume here that's the files. Mid and small size institutions rely on these proven, right, that the Jack Henry, Fiserv, and the FIS mission critical platforms, they rely on those. Some institutions have added a secondary fintech core. And I'll say this, some banks headed where you could connect API your crypto exchange to them, and then they could record and see and show you through the app your cryptos via that exchange. I saw it firsthand, but then it was withdrawn, I guess, because of all the SEC stuff. But I'm sure it's going to come back. We'll see it again. All right, so that's the incorporation. These fintech cores bridge the gap between established and emerging technology. And while they're expanding their capabilities, they complement rather than replace the battle tested legacy systems. So they're talking about we're not going to fight. Who else is talking about we're not going to fight? Right? We're not going to fight. We're just going to make your shit better. All right. XRP. Community banks and credit unions play a crucial role in geographic access to capital. These institutions face significant technical challenges when implementing new features because their core systems require extensive validation and testing for fintech serving banks with back office functions. So fintech, they're only talking about the crypto space. These tech companies producing these crypto assets, smart chains, AI agents, and bots that'll be doing everything for your common bank. We just talked about this. Behind the scenes, what's happening at the bank, and you don't even know it. Integration with core system involves complex technical requirements and rigorous security protocols. Right, because again, we just learned about the scams and hacks. Well, your bank can't afford to play that game. So they need that clawback mechanism. So while you think it's bad, thinking that you know, the banks and the industry knows they need it. So it's not about me and you. We're following the banks. Banks operate on multi-year contracts because switching core systems requires enormous technical validation and infrastructure changes. Now, I'm going to give you another secret. Verizon in the construction sector right now is plumbing their hardware, their fiber optics up and down interstates. They're running these fiber optics down main roads, back roads. They're taking it everywhere. They're trying to get that high speed internet to all areas. Why are they doing that? Because the AI bots, the smart contracts, the banking sector all need this. So here's the key. Here's another secret. I'm glad you stayed this long for the video. In the construction side, once they have all of this high speed internet everywhere they need it to be, they're going to unleash this bad boy. They're going to have CTV cameras for watching insurance accidents and whatnot, knowing who did what and dealing with the claim. Then they're going to have those CCTV cameras watching for criminals, and you know the type that do violent crimes, the PDF file crimes, all those different things, all that stuff. You're not going to be able to run. This is really that Tom Cruise film with the precogs that would look into the future and see who was going to do what. Not so much, but as far as them using the technology to watch everything, they're doing it now. I'm telling you from the construction side, Verizon is plumbing that fiber optic everywhere. It's going all up and down the East Coast. It's going west. I mean, they're plumbing that stuff. And when this finally is finished and they have the infrastructure up, they're going to flip a switch. You can't really do it now. So I expect now, looking at the construction side, I'm suspecting maybe another 2 years before they finally got it. I don't know what's happening on the West Coast. I know the East. I know the East Coast. I can only look it up and see what's happening on the West Coast. But on the East Coast, visibly with my own eyes, I can see. And if you want to know yourself, you don't have to trust me. When you're on the interstate or you're on side roads or main roads that are full of businesses, look for metal reels with orange um, uh, cable or conduit. What do you know what conduit is? I don't know. Let's say rolled up pipe, a roll of orange pipe. When you see rolls of orange pipe sitting beside roads and trucks all around them, and you see people in constructor bright green vests. Maybe you don't know construction, but I'm trying to simplify it. If you see the orange rolls of pipe on big metal reels, that's Verizon. And so when you see that and you see these machines, they have a black and red machine or a yellow and green machine, and it'll be pointed down to the ground. Um, uh, they're about to drill in the ground and push, or excuse me, pull. They're going to shoot some rods through the ground, down through the ground, and they're going to pull those orange reels of pipe back through the ground. And that's where Verizon will send the fiber optic cables or whatever they call it through that to send high speed internet. You'll see it on your interstates. You'll see it on your main roads, your secondary roads. Your I don't know if you're gonna see it on private roads, but the main and secondary where all the businesses are, so they can get all the information coming through. And here's another one. Here's the last secret. It's not even a secret. You should know. Server installations, right? Servers are built underground to keep them cool. Some of them sit on top of ground, but they have to do a lot. A lot of power has to run to it because they got to keep these things cool because it's tons of information flowing through. All right. Those things are being built everywhere. Facebook's building them, Microsoft's building them. All these companies are building these server farms. When you also see solar farms, that solar power is going to be energy coming back into the system to feed all this stuff. So we are going into a new technological age, and the infrastructure is being built right now. What are you saying? When you heard Mr. Donald Trump say we have investors coming in and building these things, those investors are the ones preparing for this crypto stuff happening, this AI agents, AI bots, this smart contracts, blockchain. All right. I just gave you everything. If you stayed this long, now you know what to get involved in and what to invest in. Let's go ahead and close this out. Okay, so upgrading these systems means revalidating every connection, every process, and every security protocol, a massive technical undertaking. Why does Stronghold care about these technical challenges? Because providing accessible financial services is the core of our mission. These infrastructure constraints affect the entire traditional finance ecosystem. They help explain why consumers are increasingly interested in blockchain based alternatives that can operate alongside existing systems. New blockchain infrastructures offer opportunities to build complementary solutions. The infrastructure for blockchain, it is fiber optic, it is high speed internet, it is server farms, and it is solar farms. All of that is happening right in front of you. Open up your eyes and look. Get your money invested in the right spot without requiring wholesale replacement of proven systems. So they don't have to replace the old systems. They have to work with them. So they're incorporating older technology, newer technology to connect to the older technology. In the future, I expect we'll see innovative cores and fintech solutions that work together. While with existing infrastructure to solve these technical challenges, as regulatory frameworks evolve to support new technologies like crypto custody. There it is. We'll need more flexible, interoperable systems that can bridge old and new. There it is. That variety I mentioned at the beginning, it's coming through technical innovation that builds on rather than replaces what already works. Want to stay ahead of the fintech curve? Hit subscribe and turn notifications. All right, what else, right? Hey man, I don't make this stuff up. You stayed long enough. You got through this long video. I hope you've received a lot of information that'll send you in the right direction. If you are not in this space, if you are not watching what's happening around you, if you're just listening to your normal ABC, MSNBC, and that dumb shit, you've missed everything happening. Don't get lost in the world. You can be in the world, but don't be of it. Pay attention to what's happening around you so that you can put yourself in a position to benefit and get yourself from out of the surroundings that can be toxic and destructive to you and yours. I just gave you some secrets. You got the secret sauce right there. You can make some decisions that'll better your life and your family's life. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. You can stick with this channel if you found this valuable and you want more information to help you make better decisions that I would assume is better decisions based on the information. I'm following the banks. I'm following the fintech. I'm following the old system because the old system is incorporating with this new system. So that new system is what I want to be involved in because it has to work with the old system because we're going into the new system, whether you like it or not.